So, quantum computing is one of the fastest growing industries with trillions of dollars in potential. But which stocks are leading the charge? Today, I'm going to break down the top 5 quantum stocks that could be big movers in 2025, especially here in February. Let's get into it. So, when we're looking at some of the companies that have the most growth, the first thing we have to ask ourselves in any stock investment is, what's the market look like? Well, when we recently went to CES and we got to talk with some of the companies like IonQ and Microsoft, some of the leading quantum computing companies, they all said that they were anticipating the market to grow to up to $2 or $3 trillion over the next few years, which is a massive change as compared to their current industry being just around 100 billion. So there's a lot of potential in the long-term growth, guys. One of the companies that has caught a lot of attention, this is number 1, is going to be Rigetti stock. We trade Rigetti stock all the time, especially in our market open live sessions. If you guys would like to be there, it's that second link down below to watch us trade live each morning. And Rigetti stock has been on this consistent consolidation ever since that crash that happened back here in the beginning of January. We saw it recover tremendously, I guess, right here, but then once it got above this level, it's just been consolidating. We start to see this map out here as it's just been going sideways for the past about 2 weeks. So with Rigetti stock, we're anticipating that it will recover. If it recovers to previous highs, that's quite the increase. We're talking about what could be a 50 or 60% increase if it gets back to previous levels. Why did it crash here? Well, we had some announcements from Jensen at NVIDIA that said that quantum computers were a lot further away than we thought. When you look at Rigetti stock, there's a few things we're going to be watching into this next quarter. Is what are their financials going to look like? Right now, we can see they missed some of their revenue and their earnings per share this week. So their financials were looking like they were burning through some cash. Now, they're one of the most innovative companies in quantum computing based out of Berkeley. They're also working on cloud platforms and their algorithms, their actual software for the quantum computers. Their net income went up 33% year over year, although in total being negative. The net profit margins went up 12% as well. The financials have been iffy on this company. Part of the reason why is because they're still in some of the early stages. But what we can see about Rigetti is going to most likely have more usage into 2025. Part of the reason why is AWS, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure offering cloud services for you to be able to use these quantum computers through the cloud. You see, our AWS collaboration enables end users to develop quantum algorithms using our state-of-the-art quantum hardware, enabling a wide range of application and research progress. So basically, you can use these quantum computers right now just by tapping into them over the internet, sending data to these quantum computers and getting answers back. So you can see them over here on AWS and Microsoft. And then, of course, if we go over to Rigetti, I would encourage you guys to go check out their website. They're focusing on hybrid quantum computing, so blending the classical computers and GPUs with quantum computers and the quantum tech. They recently got a $100 million government contract for quantum research, and competitors are pretty huge. Their competitors are IBM's quantum division, but they're just a fraction of the market cap of IBM. So we're going to see a lot of growth. You can check out their website, see some of their partners here. You got NASA, Q Control, University of Edinburgh, distribution channels, which are key. What companies are they getting distributed to? AWS, Microsoft, and Rigetti. And then one of the ones that actually recently is ceasing operations, so I don't know, they might need to update this on their site, is Zapata AI. But they have some good news here. We saw recently, just back here on the 22nd, benchmarking quantum optimization for maximum cut problem on a superconducting quantum computer. In other words, achieving high quality solutions faster than classical solvers on computationally hard problems. So that is something that's been hard, being able to solve very high level problems, whether it's down to the molecular level, the electrons, or maybe it's trying to predict climate or changes in some of the massive data scale that is required to process changes in aerospace or across some of our galaxy. And so those are things that we'll see, especially also in financial predictive analysis. That's something we're even working here on the channel to bring to life. And so this company, definitely a lot of potential. I have them here at number 5 because they're a smaller company. They need to get some of their financials right. You can see they're shipping their quantum computer units right now. So you just got to see how they play out. So technicals right now, they're consolidating, and we look forward to seeing them bounce here. Possibly a market open buy here if it drops down to this previous support. We'll see what happens at market open tomorrow. I got to drop some of our earnings calls in Stockmate as well for our Stockmates to get ready for the upcoming week. So we'll make sure that that's in there too. So number 4 is going to be IonQ. IonQ is a company I was fortunate enough to talk with their executives in Las Vegas about some of their developments, what they're planning for the future. And they are one of the companies that really didn't like some of these comments that ended up crashing the quantum computer market from their high of $54 down to $25.92, basically over a 50% crash. And right after that 10 to 15 year projection from the CEO of NVIDIA saying that that was going to be 10, 15 years before quantum computers are used, I think one of the coolest things, you could look at their partnerships, see them with NASA. You can see NVIDIA is even their partner, Microsoft. You can see Google Cloud and some of these other companies. But also they changed their thing here. It says quantum is now, which is pretty cool. So they're saying it's not in 10 years, not in 15 years. They have some of the things they're working on, drug discovery. So finding how to bind peptide proteins. You got quantum machine learning, so making smarter robots, homes, cars, and more. And then they also have direct carbon sequestration. So how do we pull CO2 from the air to fight climate change? Or even battery materials, better battery materials, extend the range and usefulness of electric vehicles and lithium-ion batteries. One of the examples they gave is that they gave 30 million data points. You all see there with Lockheed Martin, so in aerospace as well. But they gave 30 million data points on lithium-ion batteries that they had collected over the span of 25 years, ran it through a quantum computer, and within 6 months, they got it down to 8 options that they then chose one of the options, or I think all of them, in order to improve. One of the options ended up improving the lithium-ion battery by 70% as a result of using this quantum computer. It took 6 months, but I mean, that just shows some of the power that's happening. I think they're a pure play in quantum computing, and they're partnered with Microsoft. Microsoft was there as well at CES. You can see they had a very close partnership for that cloud-based server. So I think if we go IonQ and we head over to, let's see, what is it, Microsoft? I think that you can actually find here that you can tap in through the cloud to use IonQ through Microsoft Azure's cloud computing. So if you wanted to use these computers, they're here with Microsoft. They're also on AWS and Google. And they have claimed that they have the most powerful quantum processor in commercial use right now. They said that their quantum computer is 10,000 times more efficient than Google's Willow chip. So that just kind of puts something into perspective. They also said they're expected to grow faster in the next 7 years. They're going to see widespread utility across every industry. Speaking of which, I wanted to go to an event in Paris where we were talking quantum computing, and I almost got to go. Didn't quite have the planning through to go to this event, but that's where IonQ, among other companies, they're all talking about how different countries are implementing quantum computers, which really shows a lot of promise for the market here in 2025. So IonQ, last thing was that financials we could see if we look at the technicals, it's going to look similar for almost all of the stocks because they're in the same industry, but there are some that might stand out more. If all of these companies, like Rigetti was a 9 billion, I think, market cap. Let's just double check. Let's check here. Rigetti stock. Just want to check there. Oh, $3 billion market cap for Rigetti. IONQ's a $9 billion market cap. So they're all between really $1 and $10 billion market cap. And if we look at the financials for IONQ, they actually had revenue that was much greater, about $12 million. So they're more established. They got more employees, over 350 at this point. They have year over year 102% increase in their revenue. Their net income was still down about 17%. Net profit margins were up 42%, which is a good thing. But the thing is about this IONQ financials is they are increasingly beating their revenue. They're not beating their earnings per share, but their revenue is increasing. I think part of that is plugging into Microsoft. You can see Bill Gates and CEO Mark Benioff and the founder Michael Dell of Dell is also a big investor here in IONQ. And one thing we missed about Rigetti, we'll get back into it, but Rigetti also has, if we go Rigetti stock institutional ownership, you can also find IONQ, or IONQ has a lot of big companies, but also Rigetti. You can see they have BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, Charles Schwab, NVIDIA. So some of the biggest companies in the world are investing in this smaller quantum computing company that really is just a $2 or $3 billion market cap. You have some of the biggest companies in the world, institutional holders in this quantum computer company. So keep that in mind. Well, I'm not just shelling this out and saying, guys, look at this, maybe it'll be good. There's already tremendous interest from some big players. A lot of the smart money is looking at these quantum computer companies right now. That's why I bring them to you guys on the channel. So make sure to subscribe, stay up to the date. And also, if you want to be there again at Market Open tomorrow, would love to have you there in StockMate. It's that second link down below. And you could surround yourself with other traders and investors. Would love to have you there. So number 3 is going to be D-Wave. And the last kind of touch before we get into D-Wave, IONQ looking a little overextended. It's holding this level, but it most likely could sell back down a little bit before continuing up. It's starting to develop this trend, but we'll see. It looking a little overextended. We're going to see if any opportunities present themselves. The price target for highs would be that $55 range. In the near term, we could see even down to $35 in this closer trend that has developed. But we'll see how it holds at Market Open Monday. I would expect we're going to be seeing some more volatility consolidation here, but overall direction, it could make a lot of sense to see this stock continue in the direction it's going. If you just kind of back that up a little bit, it has been gaining a lot of momentum upwards. If it holds this level, we'll start to see it continue in the direction it's going. Especially with AI developments, it's most likely. So number 3, this is D-Wave, quantum computing. D-Wave is quantum annealing. They have a different approach than most competitors. And you can see some of this consolidation, fairly similar price, or similar pattern. So again, consolidating here. If they get up to previous highs, that's going to be over a 50% increase, what have you. Technicals look really good on the near term for this swing right here between $5 and $7 that's been taking place. We'll see how it positions itself over the next week into the early next week. But the thing about D-Wave, they're working with some of the biggest companies. They're working with NASA. They work with Volkswagen. They're working with major financial firms to test applications. And they're already generating millions of dollars in revenue. Unlike a lot of early stage quantum computer companies, there was a huge response from Alan, I believe, I forget his last name, but And Alan Baratz, who's the CEO, was very optimistic about the future and said, it's not 10, it's not 20 years away. It's happening right now. And we're working with companies on quantum level data right now. So that's huge. Being able to process massive amounts of data will mean they're going to be able to solve some of the biggest problems in the world as a result. You know, we were just watching Interstellar last night, which was so funny because there's this part of Interstellar where they have to collect the quantum data of gravity. And I remember that they say something along the lines of, it's a massive amount of data, the only way to like relay this information is going to be using a quantum processor. And I thought that would make sense. Problems that react down to the ionic level, or when you have massive frequency changes, and solving problems that one GPU or thousands of GPUs wouldn't be able to solve, just because you have to have the quantum material sciences applied to be able to process that kind of data. That's exactly what they do here. And again, the companies they work with are big. You'd see some of their applications, their solutions are in workforce, product scheduling or production scheduling, logistic routing. They do cargo as well. Think of all of the data that's needed to sift through. So that's big, but also in the financial industry. The thing about D-Wave that a lot of people don't realize if we get into it, and this is something I believe it was here that we saw, D-Wave is having their revenue showing signs of declining year over year, but quarter over quarter looking better. So if we look at the quarters here, you know, back to December, it's into March and then June, you know, you're seeing like 55% year over year, seeing 27% year over year, and decline a little bit here into that quarter three 2024. So it'll be interesting to see if they're able to increase some of their revenue here going into 2025. They had a net loss here. You can see net income negative 22 million. So it's not looking great on the near term reporting. Long term, you do see, if you just go back and really look, they're starting to generate more revenue. They made 7 million in 2022. They got over 200 employees, and they are an established company that works in Palo Alto, California, and British Columbia, and in Canada, but that they've been around since 1999. So they have some built up cash. They're able to sustain, and we'll see how they start to build out. You can also see the company raised more than $300 million in private funding prior to its public listing. So they have a lot of funding in their company, so they got some runway. So we'll see what happens. I like to see that they're already generating money. They're working with NASA, Volkswagen, other financial firms. That's good news as well. So when we look at their trade, again, kind of looking like a swing here between that $5 and $7 range as well. So this is where it's starting to get a little bit less risky. I wanted to put those riskier ones at the beginning so you guys can see the difference. Now we're going to get into some that are the biggest players in quantum computing, and they got multiple working quantum systems. The first one is going to be IBM. You can see IBM did have a really good end to the week. We saw them go up about 14% over the course of 2 days. So that was a really big move they had. You can see that their overall stock, if we go back to a longer term period, has been just consistently uptrending. They're one of the biggest investors in quantum computing. They got multiple working quantum systems, hundreds, actually, multiple, like 300 to 400 different research projects in quantum computing and different companies they work with that are all developing quantum computers. So again, they're one of the biggest players. They plan to launch 1,000+ qubit processors here, and they're having some huge breakthroughs working with Fortune 500 companies on quantum applications in AI, finance, and security. So we see this trend. Now it's looking a little overextended possibly on that near term. Could potentially see a sell-off. But when you're looking at the long-term, like large cap company to be holding, IBM's right there. I got to actually ask some questions directly to the head vice president of IBM Quantum. And you can see if you go to their website, the second thing on their website here is their quantum computing. So they're taking this quite seriously. They also got IBM's quantum platform. What other technological companies do we see have not just their tech, that not just their AI, not just their automation, but they're showing, as a large cap company, they are showing quantum computing as one of their main problems that they're solving, that you can click on right now, tap into their quantum platform and use IBM Quantum. They also have quantum computing here. You get into pricing, accelerate development with their Qiskit functions, and they have some of all their partners that they work with. A lot of them, they have partnerships with them for you to be able to tap into different companies that have quantum computers through the cloud. So huge. They're acting as that bridge for smaller startups that have quantum computers, and that's going to be massive as we get into 2025. Some of them will have breakthrough tech. They're going to make it to the top of the list as a usable quantum computer through the cloud. It's only going to solve bigger and bigger problems, especially with this AI boom here this year. So the next one, guys, the last one is obviously going to be into large cap as well. And it is, simply put, Microsoft. It's one of the less risky stocks that you could invest in. They actually recently sold off. They're down to $400 a share, up from about $460 or $470 a share. So they do look like they're a little bit on the oversold side, which could be a potentially good trade. If I was trading it, I would look at Microsoft 2x or 3x, because these swings are fairly small because the company is already such a large cap company. But long term looks really good. They're developing quantum computing solutions through that Azure, as we kind of mapped out. So we were on IONQ here. They had this partnership with Microsoft Azure. And I think if we click through here, you could see some details. But if we go to Microsoft Azure, you're going to actually see that Rigetti is there. If you go to Quantum, you can see some of the other companies that you can tap into. You got Microsoft, you got Pascal, you got Quantinuum, Rigetti, and it has deep partnerships with these companies. I saw it at CES. They were there working with them. Startups to accelerate a lot of development here in 2025. The other thing about Microsoft, obviously, they have the OpenAI sets. They got AI integration ready, and also massive cash reserves. So this makes this, long-term quantum leader regardless. They're actually providing cash for some of the smaller companies as well. So guys, those are the 5 companies that we're looking at in the trading and investing space into February here. Quantum computing is just getting started. These are stocks that are major players in the next tech boom, and timing here is everything. If you guys want to make sure that you're getting in at the right times, if you want to watch what I buy and sell, I would encourage you to check out Stockmate down below. It's the second link in the description for a limited time. We got a sale there into this new month that I'm excited to share with you guys. We go live every day. There's books, resources, weekly watch lists, as well as a custom profit plan that you get for free as a bonus for signing up. It's designed by me. It uses some AI tech to take your goals where you want to go and craft a custom plan for you to be able to grow in any market, but especially the quantum, space, AI, and tech markets here in 2025. Hopefully I earned your thumbs up. Hit that like button if I earned it. Do consider subscribing, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.